Oh, great. You got the dog. I got my cat.
This is what Corona life is like. Sitting at home with the puppy.
He's adorable.
Her name's Polly.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Very good. Well, congratulations on the new album.
Thank you.
It's been really the best album we made from day one. We worked so hard on it. We did every little part the best we could.
I was very impressed. I mean, the sound is very lush. There's all this orchestration. It's almost like a chamber pop thing going on there. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, that's what we're after. And we leave a lot of open space for those string arrangements. And Ingunn lives with the song a very long time. So it's not like she's, okay, come over and, write this part. No, she lives with it. And she's always involved in the writing too. So that just works in our benefit. And we try not to put on too many tracks, and that leaves it wide open, with Pro Tools and all this stuff. You can actually go too far, always cramming stuff in there, too much information.
Right.
So and then we do all the engineering ourselves, except for when we take at the end. Then we go to a very good mixer who worked with the Monkees.
Oh, great.
Which is,
can't go wrong there.
no. Pleasant Valley Sunday and all this stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the Monkees, the band that I was kind of reminded of when I heard this album was the Left Bank, because they were kind of like that kind of chambery orchestral pop thing that you guys got going on. Is that somebody that you ever listened to?
Yeah, we listen to all their records. We have it on our travel player, and Pretty Ballerina.
There you go. Walk Away, Renee.
She Will Call Your Name. So many good songs.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're out in the middle of the desert still, right?
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
how are you feeling? But you're originally from Minneapolis, which is where, of course, all the stresses started out in the States. Are you kind of keeping track of that stuff, or do you feel kind of separated from it?
Yes, we keep track of it. We don't have a television, but of course the internet, so we keep track of everything that way. Right. It's terrible. The news is terrible. The things that happen there are terrible, and I hope that there can be some healing soon. I hope that they can figure it out. We're trying to do our job. I don't understand, with Trump insulting everyone 24/7. It's like, it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. And on your end, your government kind of went and did the test and trace on the COVID thing. They just don't seem interested in that here. They're not interested in that. They're doing all kinds of crazy PR things, and now take this crazy drug that he decided is going to work, but it doesn't work. And we have a 3-ring circus. The circus is in town.
Yes.
Bob Dylan said that something, didn't he? The circus is in town.
It's Mott the Hoople, actually. The rock and roll circus is in town.
Man, we got
my favorite band.
Circus is in town is really what's going on. So I mean, what happens when you keep track of it? We have 2 gardens. Every evening we have 2 dogs and 2 gardens. And that's what we do in the evening now. We water our gardens, and we've had no invasions. We had 3 gardens, but one of them was invaded by lizards.
Yeah.
Horrible lizards. This log that ate everything, man.
Well,
up from underground, okay? Underground.
Well, it sounds like you're kind of isolated from all the craziness, which is probably a good thing. So, good on you.
Well, we have some separatists, right-wing separatists, rolled by our house last night.
Right.
And I yelled out. I have one neighbor who can hear me when I yell. And I yelled out, "Right-wing separatist formation!" They were in these crazy vehicles with flags and communication devices, and
it's pretty nutty.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
Did you hear gunfire last night?
No, I didn't.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I'm imagining things now.
You see, I remember when I lived in the States in Rochester, New York, we'd hear gunfire all the time. It was like a normal thing. We lived right in the city, And
Yeah.
here in New Zealand, it's very different. So.
Yeah.
No. I know how peaceful it is there. It's really nice.
Yeah. So let's get back to the album. When did you start recording it?
Okay, it would have been the summer. How the whole thing went down 2 summers ago. We started writing, and then we started recording kind of towards that winter.
Yeah.
And we spent all of the winter and spring. So that would have been the winter of spring of 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we took the summer off and we went to an art college in Barstow, California. Very interesting. We almost finished the record. We felt like we were a couple songs shy, and we took these 2 classes. It was really cool. I enjoyed it so much. And we came back with fresh brains and cranked out 3 new songs. It was really good for the mind as far as because we'd gone too far. We'd been working so focused on this thing. Do you have anything about the art college? Because that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We took ceramics and drawing because they were like right next to each other or right after each other on the same day. So we would go like 3 times a week. And it was great because we just got to basically just take a mental break from music. And after those weeks, we felt very refreshed, and we went back listening to the songs again. And so that was good. We were kind of like evaluating our material from a new perspective then. And then we added a couple of tunes that we wrote after the art college.
I really think the secret to our sound, if there is, if people want to know how do they do that, is we don't really put a lot of tracks on things. We're very much minimalists. I really, really hardly any background vocals, just 2 vocals, just 1 guitar, 1 bass, maybe 1 type of percussion, and then the strings. But we work hard on those elements. They go through a lot of ups and downs, our various elements, and trying to get the right feeling and everything involved with those elements.
Yeah. And this is the first album that you put out under both of your names, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And that was a long time coming. I probably should have done that right away, but I felt like I was going to, I don't know. It just seemed like I should.
For me, it's like it's not so important. Like I feel that like my face is on the cover on all 3 of them, and also my voice is mixed equal as Mark. So I'm like I have a lot of space, but this time Mark. I was the one who was like, the first record was like, let's just make it like a Mark Olson record. It doesn't really matter. Like if we were a jazz duo, it's like that, then we would just be like one name. Like, so it's, this conversation is a little weird, but this time Mark kind of insisted that, oh yeah, let's put your name on there. And
no, but you'll understand this because you're from Rochester. And when we go to play, you'll get it because we have a booking agent from Minnesota. So he goes out and gets us shows. And we didn't really tell him anything about what names were. And he had been getting the shows, Mark Olson. And because they kind of know me in Rochester or Buffalo a little bit. So this is Mark Olson. And then he wrote us and said, wait a minute, is this Mark Olson and Ingunn Ringvold? I said, no, you just go with what it is. We're relaxed about it. But Ingunn has to be on the record. For these marketing things, sometimes it's just complicated.
Yeah.
It's so insane, you know, like, so we just put her name on there and then let the chips fall where they may with like, if we go to a show and they say Mark Olson, we're not going to go, hey, we're not going on until they use names on the thing. But you know, so that's the way it is.
And I was curious because the album, the sound is very much the sound of you two singing together in harmonies. And for Mark, I know, you know, with the Jayhawks, you sang harmonies with Gary and all these guys. Do you have to sing differently or think about it differently when you're singing with Ingunn?
Yeah, we worked on. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
I think that the way that it flows with our singing is that Mark writes like he writes all the lyrics. He writes most of the song, and then I come like at the end of the songwriting, and then I'll maybe shuffle something around or add a chord progression or whatever. But the melodies are like Mark has his melody, and then I will add what I feel is a harmony, but sometimes it kind of ends up sounding like the melody. So I don't know. I think that from your harmony work is that you have this amazing ability to hear both the melody and the harmony at the same time.
What happens is I start singing in harmony naturally, low harmony, and we had to break me of that habit. So what we ended up doing, we ended up on the first of the 3 records, and now we've gotten it better and better and better for 3 records, is that I focus more on melody now rather than going into harmony, which is fine. And we lowered my registers. We worked on my keys and lowered them, because when you're singing with a rock band, you tend to be up higher and a little more shout singing than when you're not singing with a rock band. So we adjusted the way that I sing a little bit, and then we adjusted what Ingunn's going to do for harmonies, where we decided we really kind of liked how unison sounded, and then breaking off from the unisons. So that was the main things we did. We focused more on me doing more melody rather than harmony, and her doing unison to start into harmony.
Yeah, and I also have like a very like emotional attachment to where I'm gonna sing and what I'm going to sing. So it's like now it's like, well, you should sing on this part here, and then I was like, well, first of all, if I can't if it doesn't feel good to sing in a harmony, or if I can't have a nice, no, I mean, if it doesn't feel good to sing in unison here, or I don't have a beautiful harmony that I'm connected to, I don't want to sing.
Yeah.
Well, so that's why there are some parts where I felt like I don't really hear a part here yet, so I want to just create the space for you to be here.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna add something musically when I feel like, okay, here I have something beautiful to contribute here, so now I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, right. We let it be open when it's working on its own, and then we add as we go along, and it's all thought out and it's all worked on. It's not really a quick process. We take our time with the harmonies.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of thought goes into the singing.
Good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I was reading some of the press blurb about it, and apparently there's some Armenian aspect to some of the stuff that you're doing. I've never been there, so I don't know what that music sounds like, but maybe you can tell me if that is indeed the case and how it fits in with what you're doing.
Well, I have an Armenian harp that I play on the Christina High, and we featured that harp on all the albums now, and it's featured in our show as well. It's we went to Armenia for some years back. We went there, and I actually had lessons with a teacher who taught me how to play this instrument, and then we wanted to like incorporate it into our sound, and but I don't play it as those classical trained like amazing qanun players. Like if you see them play, you can like find them on YouTube. Like they are amazing, and I can never get up to that level. But the way that I use it is that the sound of the harp is so beautiful in itself. So even though if I do just a little bit, it just creates this lush, beautiful tone that's like it touches something ancient inside of you that is like it's connected like thousands of years back.
Yeah, nice.
And I really enjoy that. That was it's kind of like a miracle that happened, that we got to go there, and that's part of our sound now.
Yeah, and then we actually have the other side of that is we have a friend. He's, how old is he? He's in his 70s, and his name's Armin Stepanyan, and he was the conductor of an Armenian folk orchestra, and he's been out to our house to stay here, and we go in and we visit him in town. We were put in touch with him with some people who knew people over there. He's a super nice guy, and he's kind of instructed us not so much in the actual playing of instruments, but in practicing, how to practice. And he's a sort of a critical cheerleader in a way.
Yeah, they're definitely part of a different system when it comes to practicing.
Yeah.
Like they have more of like a Russian routine, so they're very strict and they spend a lot of hours. So when we were there, my teacher would like constantly tell me that I'm so lazy and blah, blah, blah.
It's just what you
don't read the notes and you only use your ear. You're so lazy, you know.
Right. And is it about muscle memory? Is that why they practice so much?
Yeah, I guess so. And also the songs are complicated.
Yeah.
And there's many songs. It's starting in the year 400. So that's a lot of years of songwriting. And they memorize them all. But this guy Armin's a super great guy, and he's just an interesting, and it's been sort of it's a different thing, you know. We're with Armin, if we're trying to impress him or whatever, it's not the same as trying to impress our family or somebody like that. He's just a completely he's very strict. He likes Ingunn's tremolo. And he doesn't like my tremolo, and so he has big laughs about my tremolo.
And then he has to let us know that.
Oh yeah, Ingunn, beautiful tremolo, beautiful tremolo. Mark, not so good tremolo. So
we have to rehearse more.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
Yeah.
But that's our connection, and it's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the album, most of the songs on the album have a very kind of pastoral, you know, relaxing kind of vibe to them. Except for one that I kind of stuck out for me, which was Silent Mary, which had a darker vibe. So of course I want to talk about that one.
Okay. Yeah, you are from Rochester. That's a darker well, that started out with a couple different things. There used to be mostly thrift stores in Joshua Tree, and so a lot of people would drop off their lifetime possessions there. And a lot of them were paintings, like people who came out to live in the desert for some reason took up painting in the 60s. And so there's all these thrift store art landscapes and things like that. And so you go in there, there's a big room full of them, and I would see these paintings on chairs. Like, so people would pick them up, look at them, and set them on the chair. And that was one start of the song. The other start of the song was that I knew, a neighbor of mine, her dad actually helped design the sun-made raisin emblem of the woman. It's a woman.
Oh, yeah,
and she has, it's a famous they worked on that for a while. He was one of the designers. And she lived to be 100 years old. So that's when they did that, way back at the turn of the century. But that was a little bit of the idea of the song too. And then I got to thinking about Horror Incorporated was on television in Minneapolis when I was a kid, and we used to stay up and watch those old movies, and some of them had really cool music in them. So I went back on the internet and I listened to some soundtracks of old horror movies, and I realized how dramatic it was. Oh, it's so dramatic. Yeah. And I just tried to put a little bit of that drama into that song. And that was a conscious effort to try to make it kind of, I don't know, kind of sound old with those old themes of this lady and the sun-made raisins and the things that you create, people pick up and they leave on chairs and just that. So that's how that one came about. So it had a little bit of a more of a, I don't know how much our other songs are like really like happy talk or anything, but that one just seemed a little more darker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of dark when you, because we went to art class. So when we had a very strict teacher who would like say, okay, you have to throw away 1,000 pots before you make a good one, all this stuff. And you work so hard on something, you really believe in it. And he tells you it's a piece of junk. Well, it's kind of, when you're over there and you look at all these people's paintings, and I actually like some of them and it brought some home. But when you look at how much work goes into an oil painting, a lot. And then people take it up and then they said, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of darkness involved there. Like, because it's like people want, I mean, there's stuff to be in a way appreciated. And you put, I don't know, 40 hours into an oil painting or something easy.
I think that we can get so wrapped up in our own life that we forget to appreciate other people's efforts, you know.
And that's at the thrift store. I think the average person may have been a little more into create, at least out here, may have had more time back then to paint, to draw, to write. There was magazines called Desert Magazine, to collect rocks. I mean, you know, that's what you do in the desert. You collect rocks, to grow gardens, to build things. And it just seems like that isn't going on so much anymore. I don't know. Even with Corona, I'm fine. I mean, I have my gardens going, and I ask my neighbors, "Where's your gardens? What's going on?" "Oh no, I'm too busy."
Yeah. Oh well. Now I'll add one other song I kind of wanted to touch on. I won't go through each one, which I have a tendency to do. But the first track on the album, Pipestone, I Won't Be Back, is that about some town in Minnesota? Is that what I read?
Yeah. Okay, well, that started as I'm going to write a song about it because we went there. Beautiful afternoon. And what it is, it's a place where the last 200 years, the Lakota Sioux had it in their possession, and it's an 8,000-year-old archaeological site.
Oh,
and
wow.
Last couple hundred years, for North America, that's
old.
That's old. So the Lakota Sioux declared it a neutral territory. Any Indian tribe that was peaceful could come there, and they could collect this type of rock. And this type of rock, you can make beautiful pipes out of. It's all those peace pipes, okay? So it's peace pipes. And great works of art. They have them there in Pipestone. You can see them. You can see them on historical pictures of the Sioux Indians, or any Indian tribe, really. Ojibwe, all the different tribes, the Cheyenne. They would all go there, and they had to really crank up. It's layered into this quartz, and the whole town is built out of this red quartz that pipestone is layered into, and it's a beautiful rock that you can actually carve. So they would make these amazing pipes with animal depictions on them. So I got to thinking about, okay, here's this place in Minnesota that's like a declared international place for peace. And I thought, that's pretty cool. And then it got dark. Okay. You'll like this. This you're gonna like.
All right, give it to me.
So this guy's, he's not gonna go back there anymore. He's not gonna go back to Pipestone anymore, where it's peaceful and all this stuff and beautiful, because something happens.
Right.
So
gotcha.
that's the whole point of the song. And
excellent.
And I don't know that anyone else is going to get. You got the exclusive on this now.
Oh, great! I love it.
I didn't put that in the bio. I tried to describe the songs in the bio a little.
Yeah. So obviously everybody's locked down and there's no live music and no touring at the moment. But I think I saw somewhere where you were planning on going to Spain. Were you?
Not.
No. Okay.
No. We have.
Eventually, probably.
We have a Norwegian tour and a Netherlands tour that are still confirmed.
Oh, good.
We don't know if we're, but we're holding on as long as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know, like here in New Zealand, I have a feeling the borders are going to be closed for several months at least, probably.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Hang on to your perfection there. Yeah, I hope,
that's what we like.
I hope that something happens here, but it doesn't seem like it. It's going up in our county. It's going up right now.
Yeah, so
going up.
Well, we'd love to come back to New Zealand.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready.
Come on, man.
When you guys
we'd love to have you.
Find someone to arrange a tour.
We went to the hot springs. Do you remember the name of the town that was in?
Oh,
it's south of where you are. We took the bus, and there was hot springs, mineral springs.
Oh, to Rotorua, probably.
Yes.
That was so cool.
Love that.
We loved it.
Yeah.
It was raining, and we're in the hot springs swimming.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we have quite a few of them around. They just kind of pop up on the beaches and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I'll let you get back to being hanging out in the desert and avoiding all the craziness in the States. But thank you very much. It's great to see you guys again. And
enjoy your walk around town, really.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah, enjoy it, man.
I'm going shopping.